Hello everybody and welcome to this SkoHub tutorial. My name is Adrian. In this video I will walk through the process of publishing a small SKOS vocabulary using the Docker version of SkoHub Vocabs. Okay, so let's go to the SWIP 20 workshop, to the workshop repository and take a look at the structure for this tutorial. Publish vocab. So okay, the scenario here is that we want to set up a controlled vocabulary to classify learning material by school subject. So first step is to set up the SkoHub Docker vocabs repository by cloning it, and yeah, it's like Steffen has described in his last tutorial, so I won't go through there. I already did this here. I also changed the name of the repository, updated the main YAML file accordingly, updated the URL here, and as you can see there's only the example vocabulary there. And now I want to start creating my own vocabulary. For start I need to create a basic list of school subjects. In this case I took it somewhere from the internet here. It doesn't matter because yeah, it's and then I'm going into my SkoHub Docker vocabs repo. I already cloned locally and created a new file. Subjects, I call it subjects turtle. Paste those in here, and now I have to create the vocabulary. First I will create the needed prefixes. I decided to use Perl.org here and a hash URI for my vocabulary, which is supported by SkoHub, and then these are the other namespaces I need for describing, for creating my vocabulary, my SKOS scheme. And now I have to describe the scheme itself. I call it school subjects as English label, and also at a German label, Schulfächer, and then a small description in English and German as well. A link to me as a creator, updating the issued date and so on, and of course a license, that's important. So this is the metadata about the vocabulary. Now I have to define the top concepts, which are basically these. I add SKOS top concept. Oh, it's called has top concept. Then I add math, English, and so on until I have all covered. And then I'll go forward and describe the first concept in detail. It's a SKOS concept. Have to link it back to the vocabulary by using in scheme or top concept of, like I'm doing here, which is a sub property of SKOS in scheme. Then I add pref label, English pref label, German pref label, also alt label makes sense, math without the S for the US American spelling, and also German alt label. We also have a short version Mathe. Okay, so that's the first one, and now I go on adding the others. like this. I already prepared it. I save it, and then I need to now I could push it to GitHub to let the vocabulary build, but it's it's better in the next step 4 to validate before you push it. You can use something like wrapper, which I use on the command line, and the C parameter, the C method to count triples, and it will tell you whether there are any errors, and here are errors. Okay, this is one version. I could also use the whatever I list here, Riot. It's from Jena, or I can use the Rdf Translator it's an online tool, putting in the choosing N3, that's notation 3, and turtle is a subset of notation 3 basically, and just submit it, and it will tell me, oh, there's an error at line 1, and I can see here even what's wrong. That's because I didn't delete this. Going back to my file here, I save this again, check it out with wrapper, and it looks fine. It's valid RDF. Even better, because this is SKOS, is when I validate the SKOS itself, not only the RDF. I can do this with this SKOS testing tool. Select the file. Where is it? Here. Select the file, then click test. That's one thing. Okay, obviously I already put something in here I want to add later, so I'm removing this for now. And save the file and try this again with the SKOS testing tool. And everything looks fine now. No red warning, so this can be pushed to GitHub now. See git status. First I have to commit this. Push this to GitHub. Take a look at the GitHub page. Yeah, it's building now, as you can see with the brown dot when it's green. The build will be okay. After a while you see the green check mark here, and then the build is finished and published to GitHub pages. Let's take a look. Yes, now you can see is the school subjects vocabulary I just added, and it's published here. Then I think, okay, foreign languages, that's not a school subject. You have a specific language. So let's also add some hierarchy to this vocabulary by using SKOS narrower and broader. So we have the foreign languages and want to add some sub-concepts to this, like German. Also SKOS concept, SKOS in scheme, it's also part of the scheme, has a broader foreign languages. there's a label. Use Deutsch als Fremdsprache. Okay, that should be it. Adding this for the others as well. And now I think we have to add the SKOS narrow statement as well at the foreign languages here. So that it will be built correctly. Let's see whether I did everything right. Looks good. Maybe check the also check the SKOS testing tool again. Now there's some error, missing labels. Okay, so I didn't add a label for German. And I think I used label instead of pref label. So fix this, try the test again, and then hopefully it will look good. Yeah, no red warnings. We are good to go. Committing this. So push it again. So when the vocabulary is built again, I can make a hard reload here. I already did, and I will see there are now the sub-concepts of foreign languages added there. There's also the option to expand and collapse the whole vocabulary with these buttons, which makes sense for bigger vocabularies with a deeper hierarchy. Okay, let's take a look at the structure again. We added some hierarchy, and now the next step would be to set up a redirect for the persistent identifier I used for my vocabulary, which was this one. It's a Perl UI. So I'm already here in the Perl administration console, and I now will edit this one, and it should point to this URL, I guess. So putting this in here, hit save, and let's see whether it works now. Perl.org needs some time, and it says error saving this one. I'm not sure, the interface often says this, and in the end it saves it. Okay, I think we have to wait a minute. Okay, I had to try it once again, but now you can see the target has been updated. Clicking on this link, I will come to the vocabulary, and now I can use the Perl URI to identify not only identify the concepts, but it will also be redirected to a description of the concept. and which also, and you can also get some JSON for this. This will be the whole vocabulary, but there's also the information about a single concept there. So going back to the structure, we now set it up a redirect for persistent identifiers. I will add another version with slash URIs and w3id.org persistent identifier. That's what we use lately, and because you can redirect a whole URL pattern there, and yeah, it's basically the admin interface of Perl.org has some problems and often shows errors. So I rather recommend using W3ID. Okay, now we've published it, and yeah, now you can start using the vocabulary, for example, by referencing it in a SkoHub editor in a web form to look up values from the vocabulary, and I will show this in the next tutorial.